Of the 6 titles on offer in the Galco Arcade Collection for the Evercade, it's Biomechanical Toy that stands out from the pack with its bright and colourful graphics and its absolutely frantic gameplay style. This run and gun platform game was released to the arcades in 1995, but until now has never seen a home console release. It's in the mould of games like Metal Slug, but with a much more trippy art style. You play as Ingus, an action hero toy who bears a rather obvious resemblance to Steven Seagal, as you take on an evil toy by the name of Scrubby. Now Scrubby has recently escaped from jail and has vengeance on his mind for the inhabitants of this toy world, as he steals some kind of magic pendulum that apparently is responsible for keeping everyone in this world alive. Beginning with a level where the Wild West meets things like chess and darts, it's up to you to blast and jump your way through a huge number of enemies and get to reclaiming that pendulum. Luckily, your semi-automatic pistol has unlimited ammo. Good news is you're going to be shooting a gun practically non-stop in this game. You can also collect ammo crates to turn it into a more powerful automatic pistol, as well as pick up bombs to clear the screen of enemies and the occasional shotgun power-up. That'll give you much more power and range, but sadly not as much ammo. You can also kill enemies by jumping on their head, Mario or Sonic style, and you'll need to do this occasionally to reach certain parts of the levels and for reaching power-ups. If all that variety was enough, you can also rescue toys to help you out in the battle, with each level featuring a temporary ally that you can pick up, such as a little mecha robot or a magic fairy. When it comes to the enemies, you'll need all this help as the sheer amount of them that you have to face can be rather incredible. Enemies absolutely fill the screen and they come at you from all angles. This will start from pretty much level 1 and it will carry all the way through to the finale of the game. At times the amount of enemies can actually make the game lag and slow right down. Happily this doesn't occur too regularly, but it is a good example of just how much is going on at any one time. One tip I'd offer for playing this game through is to try and keep moving forward at all times. If you try to hold a spot and gun down all the enemies, then they will just keep throwing more and more and more at you. Sometimes the game will offer you a go sign with an arrow pointing you forward, in the vein of things like Streets of Rage, but often it will just not stop throwing the enemies at you. Considering that you can lose a life by running out of time, it's worth it to just keep on pressing forward. Unlike Galco's Thunder Hoop, this game allows you a few hits from the enemies before you lose a life, and considering the Evercade allows you to enter unlimited credits into what is essentially a virtual arcade machine, and that the Evercade also has save states that you can use to boot, you're not going to have too much trouble advancing through the game. Even if you're not using some of these saving benefits on offer, checkpoints are included in the levels, so if you perish and you still have some lives, you're not back to square one straight away. This for me is a real benefit, as there's a lot of interesting and colourful levels to play through in Biomechanical Toy, so I'm glad it's not a game that's overly difficult or one that you have to grind through to try and get anywhere. Levels on offer include a chess-themed world, a runaway train, a prehistoric world, and an enchanted forest. They're all highly detailed, and considering the style of both the enemies and the levels, give the game quite a vibrant feel to it. The music is mostly good, with some nice level background music, and there's some strong boss fight tracks. The sound effects can be a bit hit and miss, but they mostly get the job done. The boss battles themselves are good fun, although it's interesting that the boss doesn't always relate to the level that you've just been playing through. An example being the computer virus boss that you face after you've just blasted your way through the runaway train stage. One other tip I'd offer for this game is to not forget that you can use the start button from time to time. When the screen is swarming with enemies, you can unleash this. Very useful when in a pinch, but as I'm conditioned to assume that the start button on any controller is just going to pause the game, I kept forgetting to use this power up. It would probably have been worked better if it was mapped onto one of the shoulder buttons or something like the Y button. Still, by the end of the game I had loads of these power-ups saved up, so that did at least come in handy. Compared to run and gun classics like Sunset Riders or the Metal Slug series, Biomechanical Toy isn't quite at that elite level. However, it's got some Japanese influence to its very vivid game world and style. When you factor in its more forgiving nature to play through thanks to the Evercade's features, it makes it well worth experiencing for anyone who purchases the Galco collection, and with that in mind I'm giving it a strong recommendation and awarding it an 8 out of 10 score.